go, what shall I do?
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
Gone with the Wind is one of the most beloved films ever made, but it's also one that changed MGM Studios.
In his new book, Stephen Bingen looks at the movies that affected the trajectory of MGM, for better or for worse. It is called The 50 MGM Films That Transformed Hollywood: Triumphs, Blockbusters, and Fiasco. And Stephen joins us live this morning. Good morning.
Hi there.
Yeah,
Thank you so much for allowing me to discuss my obsession in a public forum.
We appreciate you being here. Let's get right to it. I imagine you have many films to choose. So how did you go about narrowing it down to these 50?
Well, I felt like everybody has written about Gone with the Wind and The Wizard of Oz and Singing in the Rain and 2001: A Space Odyssey, and they're an important piece of the puzzle too. But I felt like there's the little movies that fall in between the cracks that in some ways don't get as much love and in some ways are more fascinating because they affected the studio and popular culture in general moving forward. So there's lots of strange little movies that that ended up changing the way that we look at movies in general and the way that the studio made or marketed movies. And I always thought that was kind of interesting. So it was, like I said, it really was very much part of a larger obsession. This is my third book on MGM in particular. So you're looking at someone who's 3 steps from the funny farm as far as obsessing over one particular studio. I hope they appreciate that.
Well, since the holiday season is upon us, one of the movies you mentioned here is one of my absolute favorites, must watch, A Christmas Story. But I thought it was interesting to read that at the time when it first came out, it really wasn't the big hit that it is today. I don't know if you want to explain that a bit.
Yeah, isn't it funny how that worked? Some movies seem to get better with time. Some date, and they're almost unwatchable 15 minutes after the last theater screening. And other movies just seem to get their evergreen. And it's a strange combination of movies that set out to become classics and movies that almost become classics by accident. And now it's hard to imagine Christmas Story without, Christmas without A Christmas Story. And there's a sequel coming out right now, which I'm really looking forward to. But that was an underperformer. And the studio didn't really make it didn't make a lot of money when it came out. And they ended up losing the rights to the film a few years after that. So MGM never really benefited from it, except just the love that people give the movie and the love that people give that line when he roars at the beginning of that movie. So we can all be grateful for A Christmas Story.
And Stephen, I'm looking at your list here. I have to be honest, I only recognize maybe 10 of these movies out of the 50 or that I've seen myself. I mean, Rocky is on there. Maybe give us an example of one of your favorite lesser known movies that you think was pivotal for MGM.
See, I think that means I did my job well, because I wanted to throw a little bit of light into the dark corners of movie history where people might not appreciate otherwise. So there's all kinds of good examples rattling around between the covers of my book. One of them that's always been a personal favorite of mine was an oddity from the early 70s called The Phantom of Hollywood. And at the time, MGM was having horrible financial difficulties and the studio was internally tearing itself apart. And the head of the studio was an executive named James Aubrey. And he was selling off the studio piecemeal and tearing down the backlots. And this movie was made right under his nose. And it's about a deranged, disfigured actor who takes refuge in the catacombs of the studio and tries to stop an executive who seems suspiciously like James Aubrey from tearing down the studio by killing off studio executives. So this is like an example of a movie studio biting itself in the hand, basically, because it's all about what was going on in Hollywood at the time and how horrible it was that the studio was allowing this to happen. And it gets even more ironic because James Aubrey's actual daughter, an actress named Sky Aubrey, played the daughter of the studio head in the film. So they absolutely knew what they were doing. I don't know if the head of the studio knew they were making a movie where there's a mass phantom after him or not, but it's very meta, before meta was a thing, I guess.
Each movie, is so unique. What would you say are the ingredients that you have to put together for a movie to really be memorable? With Rocky, there's of course the theme song and the beloved characters and a great plot line, but what would you say really needs to come together to make these movies stand the test of time?
I think you really need to keep people like James Aubrey off the sound stages. They can run the studio from their ivory towers, but you need to leave Like in the case of Rocky, it was a passion project for Sylvester Stallone. It was just like Rocky's story. It was a do or die scenario for him. And the studio wanted James Caan to play Rocky because they wanted a star to play the role. And Stallone said, I won't sell you the project unless you let me also star in it.
Wow.
So, you know, his whole life was a 1,000,000-to-1 shot, just like Rocky's was. And, you know, he grasped the brass ring just like Rocky did. So I think the audience feels that passion. They feel that excitement. You know, we watched the star being born, and we watched the movie that most of us will never forget.
Really fascinating stuff here. Again, Steven's book is called The 50 MGM Films That Transformed Hollywood: Triumphs, Blockbusters, and Fiasco. For more, follow MGM Hollywood's Greatest Backlet on Facebook. There's the information. Steven, thanks so much.
Well, thanks for listening to me.
You betcha.
And look for Phantom of Hollywood, okay?